honorable ministers and senior government officials and delegates, esteemed partners, distinguished speakers, ladies and gentlemen, dear youth, good morning, bonjour. It's always a pleasure to be part of events such as this summit, which brings together great, young, and eager minds from diverse nations and different experiences, seeking to solve key common issues that affect us and our continent. This session in particular, entitled Pathways to Development, Civic Engagement and Volunteerism, is in synchrony with the spirit of the discussion of the summit, thus far as, and I should hope, will lead to a common understanding of what constitutes effective and sustainable youth engagement for Africa's development. Before I fully delve into and share my reflections, allow me to extend a very warm welcome to those of you visiting Kigali for the first time. I know this is the third day, but I think I can still wish you a welcome. And I hope that your experience of the Youth Connekt Africa Summit and our city during the past few days inspired you to visit us again and again. And to those of you who are not new to Rwanda, welcome back, murakaza neza, as we say in Rwanda. Dear youth gathered here today, you are our most valued asset, and I do not utter these words lightly. You make up 1.8 billion of the world's population, and within you lies enough energy, if properly channeled, to ignite the continent's power grid of ideas and options. Representing a whooping 60% under the age of 25 of Africa's total population, you make this the most youthful continent on the globe. You are poised to be a determinant factor in the transformation of our continent and the pathway to sustainable peace and prosperity. Therefore, your presence must count for something. Your energy must define and shape the destiny of our continent. And yes, our continent belongs to you. Indeed, in the world we live in today, these numbers matter. When translated, they tell the stories of the opportunities available for you, but they also tell of the enormous responsibility that is upon your shoulders. The responsibility to build upon and to take Africa to the next level. And this is why volunteerism is so key. Volunteerism is noble, as it speaks directly to one's altruistic nature to contribute to causes that especially result in the development of those around them. Remember also that there is power in all acts of volunteerism, no matter how big or small they may seem. Allow me here to emphasize that the notion of volunteerism is certainly not new to our continent. Our traditional practices are rooted in the importance of the community and the resulting duty we owe to one another to alleviate the inequalities of this world. Here I call on you to imagine for a second what our societies would look like if we did not cultivate the African spirit of Ubuntu. Moreover, what would our world look like if we did not uphold the interconnectedness of humanity? In the words of the poet Khalil Gibran, you give, but, I quote, you give but little when you give of your possessions. It's when you give of yourself that you truly give. Esteemed guests, dear youth, as we all know and can confirm from its impact on our economies, volunteerism has shaped our health systems, education, agriculture, science and technology, and many other sectors while enhancing the capacity, skills, and knowledge of youth. We really must acknowledge those institutions and organizations that work tirelessly to offer opportunities to youth volunteer, and in this area of youth unemployment, underemployment, quest for self-actualization, and to eliminate the risk of resorting to crime and violent extremism in frustration and despair. I begin by applauding our co-host, the United Nations volunteers, and VSO Rwanda, as well as many other institutions, including the African Union, that have specific volunteer programs for the youth. And indeed, we could never overemphasize the fact that the active engagement of youth in all spheres of life is essential for our collective development and growth. There are a large percentage of the labor force, and policies that do not integrate them are compromising overall development. Cognizant of this, African leaders and decision makers the world over are progressively revisiting and reinforcing strategies to effectively harness the dynamic potential of the youth as key partners of development. In the case of Rwanda, our government built national policies rooted in our cultural values of volunteerism to ensure more effective mobilization and channeling of community effort for measurable impact in a more conducive environment. Looking specifically at our demographic groups, where 70% of the population is below 35 years, we made the conscious choice to invest in our youth from the onset by, one, reinforcing their sense of national unity, two, ensuring they get a seat at the table of leadership. You saw Rosemary. Placing them at the center of our transformation journey. It's through strong political will, inclusive and youth-friendly policies and programs, especially promoting education for all, access to universal health care, finance and political representation, that Rwanda youth are not only motivated to focus on the aspects that unify them, but have been given avenues to contribute to their country's growth. To give an example, the Ministry of Youth of Rwanda, in partnership with my organization, the Imbuto Foundation, have been recognizing youth innovative spirits through programs such as the Youth Connekt Champions and celebrating young Rwandan achievers. Launched over 10 years ago, this award ceremony, which recognizes young Rwandans striving for social and professional excellence, has demonstrated that young people can indeed generate innovative solutions, working through the value chain from design to finish to transform the way things are done in all sectors of our economy. Dear youth, the existence of relevant structures for your betterment are but the initial steps needed to see your lives and situations improve. But the ultimate choice to accept and participate remains yours, as success will depend upon you adopting the right attitudes and work ethics to truly soar. So I encourage you to take the time to do some deep soul searching, to truly know your purpose. Surround yourselves with the people who will push you beyond the frontiers of your comfort zones and help you exercise your role as powerful agents of change within your communities. And only when you'll be able to explore your limitless potential and to shine light. Ladies and gentlemen, dear youth, it's therefore my hope that as we discuss and exchange ideas on increased civic engagement and volunteerism, that we walk away with a strong sense of the role and responsibility of each one of us towards the transformation of our respective countries, and the need to give time, space, and support to youth as the foremost civic engagers and volunteers. Building on this year's theme, boosting an industrious young Africa, let us capitalize on all current available technologies to learn from one another, so we can implement more effectively best practices of civic engagement from across our continent. Leaders and stakeholders, let our work truly reflect the idea that nothing can be done for the youth without the youth. Youth, should you need an extra incentive, then know that volunteering is also proven to deliver great physical and mental health benefits while providing social interactions and a greater sense of purpose. And always remember that you have what it takes within you to bring about lasting change. It's up to you to tap into that immense potential, and trust me, we are rooting for you. I thank you for your kind attention and wish you all a fruitful day.